Hello, everybody. This is Brandon Hewitt. I'm an attorney and the Chief Operating Officer over at Michigan Auto Law. And I am here today with Caitlin Scroggins, who is one of our 2017 Injury Scholarship recipients. And Caitlin is at the University of Michigan, which is close to my heart and close to Steve Gerson's heart as an alma mater there. I went to Ferris, but you have to love somebody. If you go to Ferris State, you have to love some major athletic school. So U of M definitely has my heart. We're here with Caitlin, who is pursuing a veterinarian undergraduate path. And she was the survivor of a major crash back in 2015. And we invited her here to share her experience, talk about obviously her injuries, but more importantly, her recovery and how she's used that experience to move forward. So welcome, Caitlin. Thank you so much for joining us today. We just want to take a few minutes to share with everybody your experience and how no fault in your injuries and path have taken you to this point.
Hello. Okay.
So Caitlin, let's just start with telling everybody what you lived through, because when you shared it with me, the story is pretty incredible. Tell me about the crash a little bit. Tell everybody, kind of what happened and what your injuries were back in 2015.
Okay. I was driving to meet with my boyfriend for lunch, and right at the intersection right next to my house, basically, I've driven through this intersection 1,000 times, probably more, and stopped at the light, or there's no light, stopped at the intersection, and I was turning left. And I remember stopping, and then I don't remember much else. I remember like 5 days later. But basically what happened is I was making a left turn. I must have pulled out in front of traffic. I mean, I obviously did because, I'm here. But I was at fault for this accident. Not really sure if I thought he was probably a little slower than the car was or what. But basically, they hit me right in my driver's side door. I was in a little Saturn sedan and basically crushed my pelvis, crushed it a lot. My ribs were broken. All my left side internal organs besides my heart were just mangled. And I hit my head pretty hard too. And so I remember waking up like a few days later in the hospital, and it's really spotty, but I guess I had a fractured pelvis, ribs, and my spleen was completely it was a goner. They saved it luckily, but it was really bad. Kidneys, my bladder was severely punctured. The urologist called it impressive, actually. And it was a lot.
Okay. And this happens a month after you turn 18.
Yep. Right
after you graduate.
Mm-hmm. I didn't get to walk at graduation even.
Didn't get to walk for graduation.
I got a stipend. So.
It's your last summer before college, and you spend it recovering at home. Well, the first, 3 weeks in the hospital?
I was in the hospital for 23 days. So yeah, the first 3 weeks and a little bit.
Emergency surgery, you're recovering at home. Who took care of you?
My parents, the insurance company wanted caregivers and the hospital did too, and they sent me home. And so basically I had my parents at home, but I had caregivers all the waking hours of the day, which was really hard because I was 18 years old, super independent. And then I had caregivers someone in a nursing home almost. And it was really hard, but I'm thankful that they're there in case something would have happened. But it was mostly my caregivers taking care of me.
Okay. And now you mentioned that you were found at fault for this crash, but it was your auto insurance, your car insurance that actually paid for the medical bills for you?
Yes.
Okay. And were you working at the time as well, or were you just a student? Did you have a lost wages claim that you had to make?
I wasn't working at the time, but I did have a job set up for the summer. So I didn't officially start working it, but I did have a lost wages claim for that.
Okay. And your auto insurance paid you lost wages while you were being taken care of?
Yes, they did.
Okay. And I think that's an important distinction for everybody to understand about the Michigan no-fault system, right? Is that if this crash were to have happened in Ohio or Illinois, you were Illinois or Ohio resident, for example, or an at-fault state, do you know who would have been there to pay for all your medical bills?
I wouldn't have been able to pay for them. We probably would have filed for bankruptcy. It would have been really hard to win on Medicaid. It would have been hard.
Yeah, so you recover through the summer, and how are you doing now?
I'm doing pretty good now. I mean, every once in a while, have bad days. I know the anniversary is coming up in here later in the month, and that's going to be a rough day for me. It was last year. It's just, I don't know. It almost feels like a birthday, except I almost died on that day, so it's a little different.
A second birthday.
A second birthday, yeah.
So you go through the summer. I imagine it was grueling. Did you go through rehab and physical therapy?
Actually, my last week in the hospital, I stayed in a rehab facility, and they didn't know where to stick me, so they stuck me with all the stroke patients, which it was a great place. I did occupational therapy, I did physical therapy, all that, speech therapy, basically like 3 hours a day. And then when I got home, I continued a little bit of physical therapy, but mostly like they're like, just walk. And so I just tried to walk everywhere, which got me into a lot of trouble, but it was fun. It wasn't fun, but it was fun to like be in a wheelchair and like show everyone I could walk still.
Yeah, exciting, right?
Yes, it was exciting
to make progress. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, but the battle wasn't over, right? Because
No.
in addition to your physical injuries, you were dealing with some emotional impact from the crash. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so it was weird. For the first like few weeks, I was fine, and then all of a sudden, I just start having these bad dreams where I was in car accidents. Sometimes it wasn't even at the same spot, but usually it was at the same spot, and I'd see it from all different angles. I was told the story of how the crash happened so many times. I don't actually remember it, but I was told so many times that I pieced it together in my mind, and I could see it from standing on the side of the road. I could see it from the passenger seat. Sometimes my sister was in the car and she died. Sometimes other family members were in the car and they died, or like it was always, or I died. And I'd wake up in a panic. No one could calm me down. It was just, I felt like it was happening again. And it was really hard. And I wasn't sleeping because of it.
And then you are entering freshman at University of Michigan. How did that first semester and that first year go for you? After being obviously a great student in high school, getting into Michigan is very difficult as it is. Have high expectations for yourself. Tell us how that first semester and that first year went for you.
The first semester was extremely rough. I actually ended up failing a class. Never thought I'd do that in my life. I was top of my class at my high school and everything, and I wasn't sleeping because I was waking up from bad dreams. I couldn't concentrate because I had 8 a.m. classes, and it was a hard subject to begin with. And so it was just a recipe for disaster almost. And it was really rough. I got through it. I didn't think at the beginning when I started failing it and I was like, there's no coming back from this. I was like, okay, I'm not smart enough to be here. And then I just reminded myself, like, it's okay. Like, I have a reason to do this. This is not like just me slacking off or something. And now I use it as an example to incoming freshmen. It's okay. These classes are hard to begin with, but it's okay if you fail things. And I'm still here. Like I still plan on going to vet school. I didn't change my plans. If anything, it's strengthened me. It's empowered me to like, yeah, I can do it. I lived through this. I can do it. So that first year was really rough, but I take that first year and I think I got through the accident. I got through this first year. I can do anything.
And you're using that experience in the WISE program. And I want you to tell people what the WISE program is because it's I think a great program at U of M. But you're using your experience and kind of pushing through these boundaries and these hurdles to help other students now at this point. Is that correct?
Yes, it's correct. So the WISE program is Women in Science and Engineering. It's a residence program with freshmen and sophomore engineers, people in technology, scientists, and basically it fosters a big university. It lets you be a smaller little residential community. And I mentor the freshmen, showing them that it's okay to overcome these obstacles. This university is really hard, and we can all get through this.
Okay, so you are going to be a veterinarian, and one of the things that you credit your recovery and your ongoing recovery to is very interesting. Tell us what that is and how you found some personal therapy on your own.
Okay, so when I was struggling with my PTSD, I was looking at their like meds, there's like everything, and I want to be a veterinarian, so I always loved animals. I have cats at home and everything. So my doctor suggested why not getting an emotional support cat, and obviously I was like, there's no cats allowed in our dorm. Like, they won't say yes. It was a long struggle, but I got a cat approved for the dorms. My cat, Emma, she's amazing. Every time I wake up in the middle of the night in a bad dream, she's right here. And it's amazing what animals can do. I never really, I knew animals were really nice and therapeutic and stuff, but like they really are. And I highly recommend anyone who's going through something like this really look into it because it's amazing what they can do. They're like a little therapist almost.
That is really interesting, really fantastic. I don't know how many people actually think of that, but your doctor recommended it to you?
Yeah, because he knew I liked animals. I wanted to be a veterinarian. And he's like, why don't you try this? And I was like, a cat in the dorms, like, what's better than that? So, yeah.
That's fantastic. So, question, I think I know the answer, but did your auto insurance pay for your cat?
No.
Okay. Did you ask them to pay for your cat?
No, honestly, I didn't.
Okay, well, if it's recommended by a doctor, maybe it's a possibility.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay, so how do you feel moving forward now? You've been through this incredible experience. You look great today. Are there things that you still can't do? I mean, are you still feeling the repercussions from this 2 years later?
Sometimes when I'm walking a long distance, I feel it in my hips. If I'm doing a lot of stairs, I feel it. It's mostly my hips now. I have like a few more little follow-up surgeries that are minor, but they still some pain. I won't take pain meds because it was a fun experience going through withdrawals for pain meds. But anyways, so I can't horseback right now. I used to horseback ride a lot. But the doctor's really weary because that's hard on your pelvis. Some other things like riding a bike, which a lot of people do on campus, and I'd love to get around by a bike. But when you fall off a bike, where do you fall? You fall on your hips. And he just doesn't want to risk it. So little things that you don't really think about. And I've like I made him not hurt my life very much, but it's a little different for me sometimes. So yeah.
And one of the key components of no-fault insurance in Michigan is lifetime medical benefits, right? So 2 years after the crash now, is your auto insurance company still with you and still paying for things or protecting you?
Yes, I'm getting a little follow-up surgery, and they are like, when are you going to do it? Like, how about this summer? And they're going to pay. So they're still following me.
Okay, great. Well, your story is indicative of the stories that we like to hear, right? You know, it's always nice when we handle a case for somebody, the case resolves, we can give them a settlement disbursement or check. But the hard part is that a lot of people just have no recovery or very minimal recovery. So your story, I think, is really inspirational. I think it's going to help a lot of people. So I just want to thank you for spending the time to send us your essay and your submission. For being so strong, obviously, and taking such a positive attitude going forward and pushing your way through it. And obviously spending some time with us today. So thank you so much. Is there anything else you'd like to share with our followers or anybody out there that might be facing similar circumstances?
Don't give up. It looks really tough in the moment, but you'll find strength in yourself.
Awesome. Well, Caitlin Scroggins, thank you so much. Good luck. Let me know when you get out, and I will send you my Chihuahua to take care of.
Okay.
He is not a therapy animal. He causes me to go to therapy probably. But we'll look forward to following you and seeing your success in the future. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.